And walking off in disgust is Sir Samuel F. Kent. And he's making his way to the microphone over here. He's getting his belt.
He better get those belts.
He's going to leave the ring area.
I tell you what, I haven't enjoyed anything so much in my life as seeing those two guys get their comeuppance right there.
And standing tall in the middle of the ring is Mr. Wrestling number 2, but Dino Manelli decides to make his business to get in the ring.
This. Holy cow, wait a minute. Look what he did. Oh!
Crushed the chair.
Man, oh man.
And Steve Waller on the receiving end of the Bullet's wrath.
I'd say Sir Samuel F. Kent and his dynasty have had enough.
Well, Jimmy, I want to thank you for sitting out here one half of Georgia Power.
There's your winners right there.
Mr. Wrestling number 2 and the Bullet.
And the living legend.
The victors in this match is Sir Samuel F. Kent and the Southern Tag Team Champions leave the area. Jimmy, thank you for being out here with me, and Southern Championship Wrestling will be back right after this. This is the main event from Spalding Ford here in Griffin, Georgia, and Southern Championship goes on location here in Griffin. It's Brad Armstrong versus Tommy Wildfire Rich in a match that would fill any arena from coast to coast, border to border. But we have it for you here today from Southern Championship Wrestling here in Griffin. Collar and elbow top. Good arm drag takedown by Brad Armstrong on Tommy Rich. And Tommy Rich complaining of a hair pull. Now Tommy Rich adjusting his trunks there. Brad Armstrong questioning. Collar and elbow top. Tommy Rich with a good arm drag takedown of his own. And for fans right now, the score is 1-1. As Brad Armstrong shakes it off. Both men caught in the collar and elbow top. Tommy Rich with a side headlock on Brad Armstrong. Brad Armstrong backs his man into the ropes. Tommy Rich in for the ride. Big shoulder block by Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich into the ring ropes. Hip block takedown by Brad Armstrong. Nice drop kick by Brad Armstrong. Arm drag takedown. And Tommy Rich caught in a arm bar by Brad Armstrong. The referee asking the crowd if he saw Brad Armstrong pull a hair. A very partisan crowd here on hand to watch the main event. Brad Armstrong versus Tommy Rich here on Southern Championship Wrestling. Southern Championship Wrestling coming to you all over the state. You want to make sure that when Southern Championship Wrestling is in your area, that you're out at the matches. The matches are fun to watch on TV, but you need to be in the arena to get the full impact and excitement of Southern Championship Wrestling. As right now, Tommy Rich goes to the hair. Brad Armstrong with the arm bar, and the referee asking Tommy to unclench that fist, but he gouges at the eyes and backs Brad into the ring ropes. Good reversal. Leapfrog by Brad Armstrong. Shot to the midsection of Tommy Rich. And Tommy Rich goes outside the ring for a little talk with his financial advisor, Mr. Donnie. And a capacity crowd on hand here picking up the chant of "Go, Brad, go." One of Georgia's favorite sons is Brad Armstrong versus Tommy Rich here today on Southern Championship Wrestling. Now Tommy throws a chair into the ring, and Brad got it and clobbers Tommy Rich in the head with a chair. Man, oh man, ooh. Headbutt to the midsection of Brad Armstrong by Tommy Rich. Tommy sizes up his man, boot to the head of Brad Armstrong. Tommy Rich drops an elbow to the forehead of Brad Armstrong. And Brad Armstrong, groggy and dazed, as Tommy Rich comes to his feet, knee to the side of the head of Brad Armstrong, and the crowd once again picking up the chant as Tommy Rich belly to black suplex on Brad Armstrong, and Mr. Donnie has to like what he sees here as Tommy Rich rolls his man over with a count of 2. Sutton hooked the far leg, complaining of a slow count, but he failed to hook the far leg, and Brad Armstrong able to kick out of that pinning situation. The crowd here pulling for their favorite son, Brad Armstrong, but Tommy Rich letting loose some heavy artillery as he mounts the second ring rope and comes off with a fist to the forehead of Brad Armstrong. And Tommy Rich taking it to Brad Armstrong. Boot to the side of the head of Brad Armstrong, and Tommy Rich sends Brad through the canvas out here onto the parking lot floor, and Mr. Donnie now choking Brad Armstrong. The financial advisor of Tommy Rich choking Brad Armstrong. Boot to the side of the head of Brad Armstrong, and Tommy Rich now opening up on Brad Armstrong. A shot to the nose of Brad Armstrong, and Tommy Rich with a real serious look on his face now, and Brad Armstrong blocks it and reverses it. Tommy Rich head rammed into the turnbuckle. Now it's Brad Armstrong opening up with a series of left hands to the jaw. Tommy Rich, a big right hand. Now Tommy sit in for the ride. Brad Armstrong sends Tommy Rich over the top rope with a drop kick. And man, oh man, is Brad Armstrong fired up as our cameras take you right into the ring for this action. The referee trying to hold back Brad Armstrong, but Sunday punch by Tommy Rich with the use of a chain rolls his man over. And we've got a count of 3. And Tommy Rich, with the use of a chain, defeats Brad Armstrong here on the ground of Spalding Ford as Southern Championship Wrestling goes on location here in Griffin. This match laden with controversy, but Brad Armstrong gets himself together, and now he's taking it to Tommy Rich, and he's reaching into the trunk, and he's got the chain. Brad Armstrong with the chain. He's got the chain, and he wants Tommy Wildfire Rich back in the corner. Wow, to the head. It's Tommy Rich down on both knees. Brad Armstrong working him over with that chain, but good. And Brad Armstrong's got this crowd all fired up. Tommy Rich has been lacerated, and his face a crimson mask. Brad Armstrong opening up with the big gun as he winds that chain up one more time, and Tommy Rich doubled over in the corner. Brad Armstrong sizes his man. Boom! Lays him out. Tommy Rich leaving the ring area as he has been severely lacerated, but he's being followed out by Brad Armstrong. And fans, we've got wrestling going on outside of Spalding Ford here in Griffin. Out of my camera angle, we've got wrestling going on towards the building. We've got pandemonium breaking loose here as the referee, I think, as I can't see over the throng of people, tried to break this up. Fans, we've got to restore some order, and we're going to come back with you as Southern Championship Wrestling is live on location here at Spalding Ford in Griffin, and we'll be back right after this. Gordon, another exciting hour of Southern Championship Wrestling live from Griffin, Georgia.
Boy, it sure was. I'm still out of breath. Some of these things you just don't expect. You don't know what's going to happen. And all I can say in closing, we're just so happy that the fans came out. And we will be back here in just a couple of weeks. Watch for it on Channel 69 or wherever. But we'll be back in Griffin, right here at the Ford dealership in Griffin. It won't be long. Just watch for it.
A lot of things going on in Southern Championship Wrestling. Fans, stay tuned to your TVs. Southern Championship Wrestling coming your way. Each and every town that we're in, you can expect this kind of action. Stars such as Tommy Rich, Brad Armstrong, Georgia Power, Ultimate Force, and the Southern Tag Team Champions, Dino Manelli and Steve the Brawler Lawler. We'll be back with you next week, fans. Coming over to
Paris is a tough one.
Hello again, wrestling fans. Tim Dix for Southern Championship Wrestling. This week coming to you from the studios of Southern Championship Wrestling. And on this hour of Southern Championship Wrestling, you'll be seeing such stars as Tommy Ricks, Brad Armstrong, Rotten Ron Starr, and Steve Pritchard, the Southern Tag Team Champions. Steve the Brawler Lawler and Dino Manelli, managed by Sir Samuel F. Kent, will be here. Also, their number one contenders, Georgia Power, Jimmy Powell, and the Nightmare, also on this hour of Southern Championship Wrestling. Later on the hour, we'll be touching on why one of the stars of Southern Championship Wrestling has been suspended. Later on in the hour. Also, next week, you don't want to miss it. Be watching Southern Championship Wrestling next week, as we will be crowning the new Southern Heavyweight Champion on next week's show. But right now, let's go to our first match, which was recently filmed in Griffin, Georgia, pitting the Shadows versus the Nightmare, number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first match. Introducing first your referee, Ricky Fady. And in the corner to my left, the Nightmare. And in the corner to my right, the Shadow, accompanied by Mr. Donnie and...
Wrestling fans, we've got action here in Southern Championship Wrestling, and in this match it will be the Nightmare number 2 versus the Shadow, accompanied at ringside by Mr. Donnie and Scrap Iron. And the Nightmare will have to be extremely careful in this match because of Mr. Donnie and Scrap Iron lurking outside the ring. The Shadow complaining of a hair pull by the Nightmare number 2. But a lot like his partner, sometimes known as his brother, Strap-On, the Shadow complaining of a hair pull, collar and elbow top, as the Nightmare backing up. Shadow into the ring ropes. And Shadow once again complaining of a hair pull, but the fans here at ringside say that there was no hair pull. Both men tied back in the center of the ring. The Shadow whirling his man, the Nightmare, into a side headlock. The side headlock applied by the Shadow right now on the Nightmare number 2. Fans, a lot of things going on here in Southern Championship Wrestling. The Nightmare backs his man into the ring ropes. And joining me right now at ringside, Rotten Ron Starr. And Mr. Starr, we've had an exciting day here at Southern Championship Wrestling here at Spalding Ford. And we've got a great match going on in the ring right now as the Nightmare number 2 goes up against the Shadow.
That's right. You know, I'm not too familiar with either one of these men. I understand that Nightmares 1 and 2 have been a real successful tag team all over the southern United States. This is only about the second time I've ever seen the man in the ring, and as far as Scrap Iron goes, I've never seen him in the ring. But like you say, Mr. Dix, this has been one exciting afternoon here at Spalding Ford and Mercury. You know, we've had about 5 or 6, 7 good, really good top-notch matches, and it looks like we'll probably be coming back here about next month with another all-star card.
Absolutely. We've got a crowd of a couple of thousand people outside here at Spalding Ford, here on location in Griffin, and they're loving every minute of it. This is Southern Championship Wrestling, and when you see Southern Championship Wrestling coming to a town near you, you want to make sure that you're in attendance. Watching the matches on TV is a lot of fun, but to get the feel for it, you really need to be in the arenas, and Southern Championship Wrestling will be coming to an arena near you in the near future.
You know, Tim, there's one thing I want to get off my mind real quick here, get it off my chest. This kid Pritchard, you know, everybody's talking about the great young star, Steve Pritchard. Well, I got news for you. You saw what happened to Mr. Pritchard out here when he came out here and challenged me to a match. Pritchard, I just found out that we're going to be coming back here to Spalding Ford on the 21st of next month.
Mister, if you want another chance at me, all you got to do is put your name on the dotted line, and I guarantee you, you won't walk out of the ring on your own power. So, wrestling fans, the challenge issued by Steve Pritchard has been answered by Rotten Ron Starr, and be looking forward to that match coming up, the 21st here at Spalding Ford. But right now, we've got action in the ring. It's the Nightmare number 2 versus the Shadow, and lurking at ringside, Mr. Donnie, as well as Scrap Iron. And the Nightmare should be extremely wary of these individuals on the outside of the ring. Yeah, you know, it's kind of like a pack of wolves out there. They don't attack from the front. They kind of circle their prey and go to it from there, you know. So that's all I can say for the Nightmare is he better have eyes in the back of his head, because the first chance they get, they're going to take a nip out of his haunches. Well, it's the Nightmare right now ramming the head of the Shadow into the turnbuckle. Big right forearm to the midsection of the Shadow, snap mare by the Nightmare, and now a rear chin lock by the Nightmare on the Shadow, and the Nightmare seemingly holding his own against the Shadow. But like you were saying, Mr. Starr, that he needs to have eyes in the back of his head, because lurking here at ringside and distracting the referee right now as Mr. Donnie hits the Nightmare number 2 in the back, and now it's a Shadow with big open right hands to the head of the Nightmare. Another right hand. He's got him rocking and rolling now, Tim. This is where he's going to do his damage. If he stays on him while he's in this turnbuckle, I think the Nightmare is going to have a fight on his hands. You know, this Nightmare really impresses me. He seems to know all the basics. Seems to be in very good condition. But I'm here to tell you, these boys, these bikers, you know, they're a bunch of street fighters, and they'll take it to him every way they can. And now it's Scrap Iron choking his man on the outside of the ring. And Scrap Iron picking up a chair, but the referee issues a warning, and he puts it down. But right now, Ron, I think that the Nightmare number 2 should be more concerned about the Shadow, but he moves out of the way of that blow, and it's the Shadow on his back in the middle of the ring. See, that's where the Nightmare is making his mistake. He needs to take it to him now. The man's down. He's hurt. He's been run into that turnbuckle with his midsection, knocked the wind out of him, and the Nightmare is starting to take it to him now. Big double chop to the throat, and down goes the Shadow. 1, 2, he's out of there. You got to hook that leg, Tim. If you don't hook that leg, just about any man in the ring's got enough power to kick out of it. A good reversal there. Comes off with a small package by the Nightmare, but the Shadow able to kick out of it, Ron. And as you were saying, if you don't hook that far leg, most men in the sport are able to kick out of most pinning predicaments. But it's the Nightmare now with a body slam on the Shadow. And Ron, you've been involved in a match out here today, and we're outside here at Spalding Ford here in Griffin, Georgia, and we're running in the 90s outside, and I'm sure it's probably 110, 115 degrees up there in the ring. Yeah, well, I kind of know how old John L. Sullivan felt when he had to fight down in Cuba in the open sun. You know, I put a lot of time down in the Caribbean and Puerto Rico and different islands down through the Caribbean. And when that sun gets down on that mat, on that canvas mat, it's like cooking an egg in a frying pan. Right now, the Nightmare in a bad way as Mr. Donnie and Scrap Iron circling the ring. As our cameras take you right into the ring here in Southern Championship Wrestling, but it's the Nightmare with a right hand to the breadbasket of the Shadow, and the Nightmare now catching a second wind, and he looks like a house on fire. Big headbutt to the Shadow, drops his man to the canvas. Got him right under the ear, right in the jaw area. The man fell like a sack of potatoes. He dropped him like a bad habit, going for a big back drop. Tremendous backdrop there. Nightmare is obviously setting up for something here. I don't know what kind of finishing holds he has in his repertoire, but if he's going to use anything, now's the time to do it. Russian leg sweep. Tremendous maneuver, hooks the far leg, and we've got a count of 3, and the Nightmare number 2 is victorious over the Shadow here on Southern Championship Wrestling. Discretion is truly the better part of valor. The Nightmare made the right move there by scooting out of the ring. We'll be back with more Southern Championship Wrestling right after this. From the SCW Control Center. Right now, I'd like to talk about the suspension of Ron Starr. Yes, that's right. Ron Starr has been suspended from Southern Championship Wrestling. It involves an incident involving Steve Pritchard in several different locations in which Southern Championship Wrestling goes to. But right now, let's go to a match involving Rotten Ron Starr and Steve Pritchard from Alpharetta, Georgia. I believe that blood coming out of the head of Pritchard has enraged this man beyond his Normal proportions. 4 left to the forehead of Rotten Ron Starr, courtesy of Steve Pritchard. Spins his man into the ring rope. Wow! Wow! Both men have been lacerated severely as the blood continues to flow. Wait a minute! That's a chain! Ron Starr pulled a chain out. I don't know what he has up his sleeve, but I do believe he pulled a chain out. Definitely has a chain in his trunk right now. Steve Pritchard unaware of the situation as the referee is admonished for that. He's getting the chain out. Nailing Pritchard with that chain. The referee did not see it. Nothing Pritchard out 1, 2, 3. Obviously a chained victory for Ron Starr. There's the chain. No, the referee is reversed the decision. Steve Pritchard winning the match, the referee caught it. And Ron Starr is absolutely beside himself right now. He hit the referee.
So Rotten Ron Starr using a chain in a dangerous Cape fist match, not only on Steve Pritchard, but on the referee as well. In the following days, a written communique issued from the president of Southern Championship Wrestling, Mr. Gordon Clemens, issued a very stern warning for Rotten Ron Starr's actions. But to no avail, because as you'll see in the upcoming footage from Griffin, Georgia, Rotten Ron Starr continues his dastardly deeds.
In the corner to my right, Rotten Ron Starr. Rotten Ron Starr. And his opponent.
Gordon, it seems like these last few weeks, me and Ron went round and round, but we ain't got what we wanted to get accomplished done. So I want to challenge him. I don't know if it's today or next week, Ron Starr. If you want to come with me, let's go at it.
Let me tell you something, kid. Pritchard, you've had 3 shots at me, and you've got the hell beat out of you every time. Now, you're barking up the wrong tree. I got a match with a nightmare coming up right now. But if you stick around, son, I'm sure I'll take care of you afterwards. I'll be here, Gordon.
Rotten Ron Starr attacks Steve Pritchard from behind. This is Southern Championship Wrestling. I'm Team Dixon, joined alongside me by Tom Webster. And it's Rotten Ron Starr setting his man for a front pile driver. And he connects as Steve Pritchard hurt in the ring right now. And Ron Starr stinking outside the ring.
Wrestling fans, so there you have it. Steve Pritchard, the victim of a brutal front pile driver, courtesy of one Rotten Ron Starr. Later that afternoon, Steve Pritchard had these comments.
Ron Starr's not going to get away with it, because 21st, when we come back, Ron Starr, I'm going to get you in a match. I'm going to get to talk to Gordon Clemens, and I'm coming back in a match against you.
And obviously, irate Steve Pritchard with comments about Rotten Ron Starr. However, a rematch between Steve Pritchard and Rotten Ron Starr will never be, because after reviewing the footage you've just seen, the president of Southern Championship Wrestling, Mr. Gordon Clemens, has seen fit to suspend Rotten Ron Starr. However, dressing room insiders have told me off the record that a handsome sum has been paid to Sir Samuel F. Kent to finish the job started by Rotten Ron Starr on Steve Pritchard. This story is in the making, and we'll continue to follow it. Right now, fans, let's go to an interview with one of the stars. Southern Championship Wrestling fans on tour this Friday night, 8:15 p.m. at the Antioch Elementary School, 1819 Riverbend Road in Dalton, Georgia. For advance tickets, call 278-7550. And in the main event, it is the Bunkhouse Battle Royal, $5,000 to the winner. Come as you are. Also, the Southern Tag Team belts will be on the line as Dino Manelli and Steve the Brawler Lawler, managed by Sir Samuel F. Kent, will be taking on Georgia Power. Ron Starr versus Steve Pritchard. In a grudge match, it will be Joel Deaton versus David Sammartino. In the opening bout, it will be Tim Berger versus the Invader #1. And joining me now, Tim Berger.
Oh, that's right. This Friday night, 8:15 p.m., Antioch Elementary School, I have the Invader 1. Well, Mr. Invader, I have one thing to say. Grab your best hope, brother, because the Burger Man is coming down on you at 8:15 starting time, Antioch Elementary School. And then, as soon as I kick your butt all over that ring, I'm going down to the Crystal and grab some burgers.
All right.
Also on the card, the Southern Tag Team titles, and it will be Georgia Power versus Sammy Kent's men, the Southern Tag Team champions, Dino Manelli and Steve the Brawler Lawler.
That's exactly right. You know, Samuel F. Kent, you've been a thorn in my side for a while now. I've told you what I think about weasels, boy. If you look like a weasel, if you smell like a weasel, if you act like a weasel, then you must be a weasel. No mistake about it. And so, Lawler and Manelli, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, we beat you in a lot of non-title matches, but coming to Dalton, Georgia, that's right, Dalton, Georgia, this Friday night at the Antioch Elementary School Gym, right there in Dalton, Georgia, Georgia Power, the Nightmare, and yours truly, whoo, the Dirty White Boy, will be coming down your way. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, we're coming after those tag team titles, so shine them up. The Burger Man's coming after the Invader, Joel Deaton coming after David San Martino, but Georgia Power is coming after you, Lawler Manelli. Yeah!
Wrestling fans, welcome back to the SCW Control Center. Here in Southern Championship Wrestling, a new tag team has been forged, and it's David San Martino and Chick Donovan, and they'd like to be known as the Ultimate Force. Fans, let's look at the Ultimate Force in action against the Southern Tag Team Champions, Dino Manelli and Steve the Brawler Lawler.
The Ultimate Force, San Martino and Donovan. If they defeat this team, they have been guaranteed by Southern Championship Wrestling a tag team title shot. It's an important match both ways around, even though it is not a title match. A win by the team of San Martino. They go behind by San Martino. That's Dino Manelli starting for his team. And San Martino, a expert in professional wrestling. That time a reversal. Manelli goes behind San Martino. Understand that Southern Championship Wrestling is on tour, Alan.
Big time on tour. Lots of great shows coming up. We're going to be here in Alpharetta again on next weekend, next Sunday, the 16th. This will not be a TV taping, but it will be an incredible show here in Alpharetta. On the 17th, at Dallas High School in Dallas, Georgia, there'll be a Southern Championship show there. On the 22nd, there'll be a TV taping. On the 22nd, there'll be a show here in Alpharetta. On the 23rd is the TV taping here in Alpharetta. We've mentioned before to you on Southern Championship Wrestling a week before, if you have not come to the TV tapings, do yourself a favor and come. Some of the great wrestling that goes on in Southern Championship Wrestling goes on right here at the TV tapings. Now, there's a major event in Stockbridge on the 28th. In Stockbridge, Georgia, that's in Henry County. On the 28th, a big show on the 28th there. Southern Championship Wrestling is on tour, and they're back with the action.
And if you think the action is hot and heavy on TV, wait till you get out to those live matches. And we look forward to meeting each and every wrestling fan out there. And if you see myself or Alan at the matches, be sure to come up because we always like to meet the fans and hear their viewpoints on the matches.
Then we do always like to meet the fans and hear your questions and hear the things that you want to know about professional wrestling. Might mention to you very quickly, David San Martino is in the ring now, has replaced Chick Donovan. I was going to mention a minute ago a win by San Martino and Chick Donovan would guarantee them a shot at the title. David San Martino and Chick Donovan have joined together as a tag team, and they told me just before the matches tonight they will be called the Ultimate Force. That's a very appropriate name. Two big blonde gentlemen and great wrestlers, both of them. David San Martino coming from a line of incredible wrestlers. Bruno San Martino is David's father.
David, I believe, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and right now making his home in Georgia. Manelli, leg trip takedown by San Martino. Good float over on the leg tag is made in comes the Golden Boy, the Trickster, Chick Donovan, straight out of Chick Sim in LaGrange, Georgia. Good maneuver by Donovan with a step over now in the arm. Dino Manelli, the beauty they call it, the Latin attraction, is in trouble right now. And of course, he knows that if they get defeated, then they got to put up those titles. Dino Manelli is facing an incredible wrestler now, Chick Donovan, formerly the NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion, formerly the AWA Southern Heavyweight Champion, formerly the International Heavyweight Champion, the Southern Tag Team Champion, the IWA World Champion. The list goes on and on and on. I don't know if you're aware of this, Ben, but Chick Donovan donated his IWA Championship belt to the Kiki Rodriguez Foundation for Battered Children. That was a magnanimous gesture on the part of Chick Donovan and the gorgeous Pebbles, Chick Donovan's lady,
Haven't seen Pebbles tonight. I'm sure she's here. Can't wait to look at it. If you're interested in Chick Donovan's fan club, write to Post Office Box 77, Mount Zion, Georgia. One of the oldest professional wrestling fan clubs in this area. That's Chick Donovan's fan club.